Yes, guys, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel, and welcome to tonight's live stream for match reaction and player ratings to Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0 at Stamford Bridge. But before we get into all of that, please make sure you smash a like on this video and please click that subscribe button. On the road to 400 subscribers now. 40 to go. So yeah, if you're watching, please do subscribe. If you're watching it back, then yeah, really appreciate one click of that subscribe button. It would really help me out. And truth be told, Chelsea really struggled today. Newcastle made it hard for us, defended really well. But it was a moment of magic from that man, Kai Havertz, the man of the moment, a superb ball over the top from Jorginho, an unbelievable first touch from Kai, and a great finish as well. It was Bergkamp-esque, and it got us out of jail, and it got us the 3 points. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the starting lineup, no, my only real issue, to be honest, was Timo Werner starting. We saw the back four, again, made up of 4 central defenders, but due to injury issues, obviously Reece James out, Azpilicueta wasn't available for this one, and then the other backup for right wing back, a Callum Hudson-Odoi or a Christian Pulisic, both out. Pulisic only fit for the bench after being ill, so we saw Trevor Chalobah there. Thiago Silva rested. I think it was a good game to rest him in potentially. He's played a lot of football recently, and we've got a lot more games coming up. Lille in the Champions League, and then obviously FA Cup with Middlesbrough on the weekend as well. So it was good to give Thiago Silva a rest. So Rudiger partnered Christensen. And then we had Malang Sarr at left back. We had Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante as 8. And then obviously Kai Havertz leading the line with Hakim Ziyech back in the side in that favoured right wing position in the 4-3-3 formation. And then we had Timo Werner starting. I really don't know why. He was absolutely awful against Norwich in the week, and then for some reason Tuchel thinks he should be starting again today, and today was just goes to show that much as a nice guy he might be and people might like him, Timo Werner is not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. He was awful on Thursday, he was awful again today. He's offside, he's terrible with the ball, his finishing's awful, his touch is awful, just doesn't do anything good. So yeah, really poor from him, and he definitely needs to be moved on in the summer. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of noise surrounding this game, obviously with the sanctions from the club, and then Newcastle's obviously dubious Saudi Arabian-backed ownership as well. A lot of media present outside Stamford Bridge, gauging reaction to the fans, just wanting to be there to see what the mood's like and obviously stick the knife in like they do. It's been a really bad week for journalism. Not all journalists, I must say. Big shout out to, the really good ones, the likes of your Matt Laws, Nizar Kinsella over at Goal, the lads at Football London, etc. They're putting out good stuff, but some of the hypocrisy from certain journalists, they've really let themselves down. It's been embarrassing and really unprofessional from them. So shame on those people. We all know who they are, and the best way to silence those haters is to get a win, and that's exactly what we got today. The game itself, really in the first half, nothing at all from Chelsea. We really struggled. Didn't play the ball quick enough. Created no opportunities whatsoever. The best we did was an effort from Andreas Christensen, literally in the first 2 or 3 minutes that went straight over the crossbar. But it was dipping, but not quite enough on it. Other than that, really uneventful half. No chances created. Frustrating, giving the ball away too slow on the ball, not moving it quick enough. So yeah, it was a really poor performance. And actually, to be fair, Newcastle had the better opportunities. Edouard Mendy forced into a great save right at the end of the first half. I can't remember where the strike was from, but I think it was from a corner, comes to someone at the edge of the box, and Mendy gets down well and makes a good save to, keep us level going into the break. But, half time, I'm thinking, my one criticism of Thomas Tuchel, and I think he's an unbelievable manager, wouldn't want anyone else at this football club at the moment. And for the foreseeable future, the way he handles himself is so honest. He speaks so well. But one thing that I think he does need to improve on slightly is his use of substitutions. I felt the game, it was going nowhere for us. We were awful in that first half. And I felt, if not at half time, definitely in the first 10 minutes of the second half, a couple of changes could have been warranted to mix things up, particularly Mateo Kovacic in the midfield, and he did make a big difference eventually when he came on later. But again, just nothing really going at all. I mean, and the fact that we had no efforts on target until 70, 75 minutes on the clock just goes to show you how much Chelsea struggled. But I'll credit where it's due. Yes, I've been critical of the Chelsea performance, but Newcastle dug in, and they were good, since January, since the turn of this year. I mean, they hadn't lost a game this year, unbeaten in their last 9. Eddie Howe picking up the Manager of the Month award, got them playing some good stuff, scoring goals, and they were really defensively solid. And, as I said at the top of the stream, it took a moment of magic from a Jorginho pass and a great finish by Kai Havertz to actually break them down. But, I mean, I guess really, apart from that, the most entertaining part of the match were the chants being exchanged between the two sets of fans of Newcastle taunting us with Mike Ashley, he's coming for you. And then, the Chelsea fans responding with a great Boris Johnson, he's coming for you chant. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the highlight, really, of a pretty dull affair. But, as we know, football these days, all that matters is the win. And as long as you're winning, you can put up with performances like this. But, if you're going to win more games this season, then, we can't really be putting that level of performance in again. I will also say a couple of contentious moments in the game. For sure, I thought David Coote, the referee today, I thought he was really poor. Not letting the game flow, literally blowing up, every time someone went to the ground, particularly Newcastle players just throwing themselves to the floor like they've been shot. And like you say, just constantly the game being broken up by free kicks for everything. And then kind of the two contentious issues, he kind of just didn't really do anything about them. I mean, the first one, I know Sky Sports were going overkill on it. I don't really know why. I mean, I like Sky Sports, but their coverage today was embarrassing. It really was. And yeah, the elbow from Kai Havertz on Dan Burn, I think a booking's fair. Not a red card for me, although you have seen them given in the past. But obviously, definitely no worse than the one from Sadio Mane on Azpilicueta when Liverpool came to Stamford Bridge in January, and that went completely unpunished. Yes, he does. His elbow gets him in the face, and you can tell because Dan Burn had a massive shiner on his face for the rest of the game. But what helps Kai Havertz out here is the fact that at no point does he take his eyes off the ball. He's looking at it at all times, and it's just one of those unfortunate things. So yeah, for me, booking's fair. Have you seen those given? Yes. But as Eddie Howe said in his post-match press conference, he's not really that bothered about that one. It's the one what I'm going to come on to now, and it's Trevor Chalobah, who it should have been back-to-back games for him, giving a penalty away. I mean, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's pulling the guy's shirt. He's wrong side of him, and it's a penalty all day long. And I'm really not quite sure how we've got away with that one. But we've not had the rub of the green recently with big decisions. So when it comes your way, you take it. But yeah, we definitely got out of jail with that one there. But yeah, I mean, having said that, we have struggled against this level of sort of opposition at Stamford Bridge over the course of this season. Drawing to the likes of Burnley, Everton, Brighton. I lump Man United in there as well because they're shit as well. So yeah, we have struggled against that level of opposition, and it was really difficult for us to break Newcastle down today. But having said all that, and having been critical of the performance, I'm just going to bring something up on the screen now. And where is it? Yeah, we're actually doing well at the moment. Chelsea have now won each of their last 6 games across all competitions at Stamford Bridge. Ended Newcastle's 9-game unbeaten run in the league. 14 goals scored, 4 clean sheets in the last 6, and only 2 goals conceded. So having struggled a bit recently in our home form, particularly in large parts of this season, we seem to be turning a corner now and hitting some great form. With things off the pitch, not getting any better in the immediate short term. It's vital that we keep things going on the pitch, and the players' focus and determination to keep going in these tough times has got to really be commended. And I think, yeah, it's not helping us, and it's a massive distraction. But all you can do is concentrate on the football matters and just do your best on the pitch. And, it's not always going to be pretty every week. And today it really wasn't. It was awful, as I've said. But, we kept grinding away. And that's what you pay the big money for, is moments like that. One moment And Kai Havertz, who's been in superb form recently, the touch is unbelievable and the finish is great as well. I mean, the Jorginho pass deserves a lot of praise as well, but Kai Havertz now is really coming into his own. He's obviously given us that Club World Cup winning goal and also given us the Champions League winning goal. But in knockout competitions, he's been half decent. Form in the Premier League has not been good since he signed, but in the last few weeks, he's been outstanding. And a third consecutive game that he's scored in, obviously the 2 against Norwich, 1 against Burnley, and also the winner today against Newcastle. And no player has scored more goals for Chelsea since Thomas Tuchel came in than Kai Havertz. So he really is coming of age. He's showing why we spent that money on him. And he looks like he's finally delivering now and on a consistent basis as well. So long may it continue. I'm just going to bring his stats up from today because, again, it wasn't his best all-round performance, but in the moment that it mattered, he was there and he delivered. Arguably, he should have really scored before he actually did. A great ball in from Hakim Ziyech, and Kai Havertz, who is so good in the air, should really score with his header, but doesn't. But yeah, today, 100% shot accuracy for Kai Havertz, 43 touches. The most touches with 7 in the opposition box, 4 duels won, 3 fouls won, 3 shots on target, created an opportunity, and 1 goal scored. So yeah, it was a really, really promising performance again from Kai Havertz, and let's hope it can continue. I think he's one of those players that we just need to play him when he's in form. He needs to play in that centre forward role. I think, yes, he can do a job out on the left or as the left 10, but he's nowhere near as effective as he is when he plays through the middle. And unfortunately for Romelu Lukaku, his opportunities at the moment are numbered because Kai Havertz is doing the business and Lukaku just isn't doing it at the moment. So he can have no complaints to not being in the lineup. And I thought, it was quite telling now that, since all this has come out that Roman is obviously having to sell up, that Lukaku actually hasn't really featured in the team at all, which does lead some credibility to the, the thought process that actually potentially there was pressure from above to play Lukaku. And now that pressure's gone, Tuchel doesn't feel the strain and he doesn't really need to play him, and he's not playing him, and rightly so at the moment until he starts delivering the goods, and he needs to improve a lot. Lukaku's going to be limited from the bench. He's going to have to take his opportunity in cup games. But yeah, another superb performance from Kai Havertz today, and we really have got a special football player on our hands, 22 years of age, and if he can carry this on, that £70 million is looking like money very well spent in that regard. Moving on to kind of what Thomas Tuchel's thoughts as well during the game. As I said, I wish he'd make his subs a little bit sooner. The introduction of Kovacic made a big difference. Just that energy from midfield. He gets on the ball, he makes a pass, he bursts forwards, he kind of links midfield and attack. He perhaps should have come on earlier. I would have started him if I'm being perfectly honest. Tuchel pleased with the performance. Ridiculous again, as I mentioned earlier. The celebrations after the game from Tuchel, you can't imagine the strain and the pressure the guy's been under and how difficult the situation's been in recent weeks. And, he let it out at the end, a big win. And then you've got journalists, writing articles saying that, he shouldn't be celebrating, etc. When in those same journalists, when Jurgen Klopp does the same thing, are all over it. So the hypocrisy and the hate for the club is just on another level. And it's embarrassing from these people, from these professionals. It really is embarrassing from them. The best thing we can do is keep winning and silence those haters. And Alan Shearer as well. Hope you enjoyed that one. He's been another one on his moral high horse. Alan Shearer, that one was for you. Hope you enjoyed it, mate. Take that one on the chin, yeah. Tuchel afterwards, a great comment in the presser where it just sums him up as a manager, as a man. He's been immense. And he was asked about travel arrangements for Lille. Obviously, I know 20 grand travel, etc. That's obviously going to be extended. We can't get there for on that money to Lille. And he was asked about it today. And he's like, last information is we have a plane and we can go by plane and come back by plane. If not, we go by train. If not, by bus. Or if not, I'll drive a 7-seater. I think that's one of my favourite quotes from Tuchel during his time here. And he just loves the club. He's one of us. And yeah, it's just the perfect person to have in these difficult times at the club. We've really got a special manager on our hands, and he's well on the way to potentially going down as Chelsea's greatest manager of all time. He's obviously not quite at Jose standards yet, but he's well on his way, and we're so very, very lucky to have him in that regard. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings, and I'll bring the lineup up on screen. Again, another clean sheet, which is promising. But yeah, so here we go. We'll start with Edouard Mendy in goal. I thought Mendy was decent today. Got down, made a couple of really important saves. Didn't have an awful lot to do. Newcastle, yes, they had a few opportunities, but they didn't offer an awful lot going forward. So Mendy, some couple of good saves. Distribution wasn't good though. I think he struggled with that a bit, and that's an area of his game that he will need to improve. But for Mendy, I think the 6.5 is fair today. Did well with what he had to do. Didn't have there wasn't an awful lot to do. Distribution was a little bit poor today, so that's probably what takes it down from the 7 for me to the 6.5. We're going to start with the centre-backs then. As I said, Thiago Silva rested today. A good opportunity to give him some rest. He's played a lot of football recently. He's not getting any younger, as we know. He's got important games coming up that he will play in. So, yeah, we saw Rudiger and Christensen partnering to them each other at the back today. And I thought it was a good partnership. They both look solid. Rudiger, I just love Rudiger. The guy is everywhere. He's someone you just love to have on your team. Thought he played well. He kind of dispelled the myth that, is Rudiger going to be able to play in the back four? He's just shown that he's a top defender. And it's a great clip doing the rounds on social media where he's doing some sort of like high knees running before he plays the ball back to the keeper. I'm not sure what he's doing, but it's the most Rudiger thing ever. So if you've not seen that on Twitter, you'll find it and give it a watch because it is very funny. But yeah, he was dangerous, in that first half. The way he gets forward, and it's even harder to get forward from. It's okay when you're playing on the left of the back three to get forward with those runs that he does. But when you're in a back four, it's a lot harder. But yeah, he was kind of made one of the main attacking threats moving forward. So yeah, I was really impressed with Rudiger today. So I think probably I'm gonna go with a 7.5 for Rudiger today. 7.5. Moving on to Andreas Christensen. Obviously, don't know how many more games he's got left here. By all accounts, he's on the verge of joining Barcelona. We can't offer him a new contract under the current sanctions anyway. But another good performance from him today. Obviously, not quite as influential as Rudiger was, but I thought he defended well. He had an opportunity in that first half where he took a shot from distance and it just went over. And he played a great ball over the top for Timo Werner, who obviously was offside, as he always is. But yeah, I think a solid afternoon for Christensen and shown that he's a top defender, and it will be a shame to see him leave. So Andreas Christensen, not quite as good as Rudiger, but I would give him the 7. I thought he was good today, and yeah, can't really say much more than that. Moving on to Trevor Chalobah, then again, he's been in the team for the last 3 games now. Obviously, not in his natural position, out at right back. I'm not sure when he last played right back was. I thought he defended all right, but again, he did struggle at times, and I'm not sure what he's doing for the penalty that wasn't given. It was an absolute stonewall penalty. He just gets caught. He's tugging his shirt in the box, and how it's not been given, I'll never know. But with Chalobah, he's young. He's been a revelation this season. Really burst onto the scene in terms of the Chelsea squad, etc., and that first team. But in recent weeks, the last few games. And it will happen with young players. Mistakes are being made. Against Burnley, there are a couple of errors. Obviously, luckily it didn't lead to a goal. Against Norwich, he gives away the penalty. And then today, he gets away with one. So a few errors have been creeping in. But, he's still young, and that's going to happen with young players. But, I mean, today from Chalobah, I've got to say, it was just average. So I'll go with a 5. A 5 for him. Moving to the left-hand side then, onto Malang Sarr. So Malang Sarr at left back, again, not really playing in his natural position, but must with Alonso not fully fit to play after being ill with COVID. We've obviously got no Ben Chilwell. Sal Niguez in a back 4 is not going to play. If it was a back 3, probably would have done. But yeah, it's Malang Sarr. Not a great game. Had a few good moments. He obviously doesn't offer an awful lot going forwards. Defensively, he's solid. This bit of an average game, really. wasn't awful, but didn't do an awful lot else either. So yeah, I think Malang is better than Chalobah. So I'll give Sarr the 6. Right then, moving into the midfield now. Then moving on to Jorginho. Retained his place in the lineup, playing in that single 6, the holding midfield position. He's not been in his best form in recent games, but there's a quality player there. And today, I've got to be honest, he wasn't that good today, if I'm being brutally honest. But yes, that unbelievable pass for the winning goal does boost his rating a bit. But I just thought, he slowed the play down too much in the midfield. I know that's what he does, but we just didn't need that. We were trying to move the ball quicker. And yeah, you just slowed it down, took all the energy out of the game, took the tempo out of the game when we're trying to increase it, break Newcastle down. So without that pass, I probably would have given him a 5, but that pass boosts it up because it's a moment of quality, and it's it ends up setting up the winning moment of the game. So in fairness, I'm going to have to give him a 6 for that, but otherwise just very average from Jorginho today. Moving on to the 2 advanced midfielders, the 2 number 8s. I've got to be honest, I'm very surprised that N'Golo Kante played in an 8 today. If Kante was going to play there, and we're going to play the 3, why not start Kovacic and get rid of Werner and move Mount further up the pitch? I'm not really sure why Kante needed to start in this game. I very much think that, we don't need him in every game. We're not as dependent on him as we have been in the past. And he's a big game player for sure. Every big game he plays. But I feel like games against Newcastle at home, no disrespect to them, perhaps we didn't really need Kante. And I thought he was all right today. Broke up the play, covered a lot of ground like he always does. But he's not a number 8. And, number 8, you've got to, contribute to the attacks, link up well with the attacking players. And he just didn't do that today. So, yeah, if he'd been playing as in the pivot or something, his rating probably would have been a bit higher. But, yeah, I've got to be honest. For me, I think Kante can't really go much more than a... I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go for a 5.5 for Kante. I'm going to go 5.5 Kante. It wasn't good. Moving on to Mason Mount then, really disappointing in many people's opinions in his favoured number 8 position today. And he didn't really follow up his good performance against Norwich. Today, he was woeful. And, if you're going to criticise players, you've got to be fair about it and criticise everyone, no matter who they are, when they deserve it. And Mason Mount, one of our own, Chelsea through and through, everyone loves him. But today, he was awful. I'm sorry, he was dreadful. He offered nothing. His set piece delivery and free kicks, etc. That delivery was poor today, which is frustrating because we've been quite dangerous from set plays, getting a few goals in recent weeks. Defensively, not really there. The work rate, not necessarily there either today, and just not really contributing anything to the attack. So yeah, a really bad game for Mount, unfortunately. And hopefully he can improve when we head to Lille on Wednesday. But yeah, not good from Mason Mount today. I'm going with a 4.5, which I know might seem harsh, but the fact he got subbed off along with Werner just goes to show that he wasn't delivering the goods today. Unfortunately, he really wasn't. Moving into the attacking third, then Hakim Ziyech back into the team for the first time since playing the first leg against Lille, so he's missed a lot of games. And back in the lineup on his favoured right-hand side in that 4-3-3. And, what I will say was not a great performance from Ziyech today, but, to caveat that, he's not played for a while. He looks rusty, and it does take a little bit of time to get back up to speed again. So we couldn't expect him to come back in first game in about 5 games to suddenly just hit the ground running and be worldy. I thought defensively, when he was tracking back, etc., he dealt quite well with Matt Targett. Going forwards, a few nice bits, a great cross for the Kai Havertz header, which Havertz should do better with. But yeah, for Ziyech, again, I think a 6 is fair. I'm giving out quite a few 6s here, but I think a 6 for Hakim Ziyech is fair. One person I certainly won't be giving a 6 to is this next guy we're coming to in the player ratings. Timo Werner, absolutely shocking today. And I'm sorry, look, I don't know what's happened. He's just not a Premier League footballer, and he just isn't Chelsea quality. And we just need to accept it now. He was awful on Thursday against Norwich, ducking out of 50-50s, not putting maximum effort in. And people commend him for his work rate, but you've got to do more than that. Work rate's just basic. It's a basic application to apply yourself as a professional footballer. Werner was awful. His touch is awful. He's always offside. He does nothing with the ball. He doesn't contribute. And today was absolutely shocking. It really was awful again. And I don't know what we do with him. I think he's just one of those where the Premier League just isn't for him. And there's just no signs of him looking like he's going to improve whatsoever. So, yeah, awful today. And I'm sorry, I can only give him a 1 because he turned up. That's it. I cannot give him any more than that because he was absolutely dreadful. And the sooner we get rid, the better. We're just going to have to accept that this hasn't worked, take it on the chin. We're going to take a loss on him, get his wages off the books, and we go again. And I'm sure he'll be good in another league, like a Bundesliga or maybe a La Liga or something. But the Premier League's not for him, and he's not for Chelsea either. He's not of the required quality. So I'm sorry, but I'm done with Werner now. Today was absolutely awful. It's a 1 out of 10 just because he turned up. Absolutely dreadful. Moving on to Kai Havertz then. The match winner himself, King Kai. The big player, the big game moments. I mean, if you haven't seen the goal, you really do need to watch it. I mean, I'm not over exaggerating when I say that this first touch is just out of this world. It's sort of something that you see the likes of Dennis Bergkamp or someone like Dimitar Berbatov do. The fact that the keeper's right on him. The touch has to be absolutely perfect, and then he just volleys it, not like a full-on smashing volley, but like a placed volley just straight past the keeper. It really is a fantastic goal. And the Jorginho pass is outstanding as well. He should do better with the header from the Ziyech cross. He should really be scoring that considering how good he is in the air and the goal-scoring form that he's been in recently. But, I can't knock Havertz too much today. Yes, all-round performance, not that great, but the goal is a big moment for us and it's a massive goal and it really helps us out. So, I think normally I'm probably looking at a 6.5 or a 7 for Kai without the goal. But with the goal, I think we're going to have to bump that up. I'm going to bump it up to a 7.5. I was tempted for the 8, but I just don't think the all-round performance warranted the 8. So, yeah, I've gone with a 7.5. In terms of the subs, Kovacic was good when he came on, brought energy, drives forward, is very useful in that position. And he goes to show why he should be playing every week if he can, because when he's not there, you see exactly what we miss. Christian Pulisic didn't play long enough for me to even notice him doing anything. And Lukaku, not awful, but didn't really do anything at all. Didn't have an awful lot to do. A couple of loose touches, but wasn't really involved in the game. And it's kind of worrying times for him, especially with the ownership up in the air, the financial situation in the club. We're not sure what it's going to be like when the new owner comes in for the summer. Lukaku's future could potentially be on the line this summer. I know he's come out and said he wants to stay, etc. But who knows what's going to happen? But the matter of the fact is, at the moment, he just cannot get in the team. And when Timo Werner's getting picked ahead of you, that is definitely a big cause for concern. But Lukaku's just got to knuckle down, work hard. And when he gets an opportunity, which I'm sure he will do against Lille or against Middlesbrough in the Cup, he has to take that and show that he deserves to play on a more consistent basis. But yeah, kind of that's my player ratings. The overall performance today, not great at all. But the most important thing was to get the win. And in these difficult circumstances, that's all you can do, because as much as you try and block it out as a player, it's very public, this, and you can't help but notice it, and it probably does have an impact. But they're professionals. We get on with it. They do the job. And today was one of those days where it was all about just doing the job and getting it done, because it is tough circumstances surrounding the club at the moment. Particularly for those not the playing staff as such, or the kind of the coaching staff. It's just difficult for them, but more for the people that aren't famous, quote unquote, the ones that work behind the scenes or in the shop, or just part of the fabric of the club. They don't know what's happening next. Are they getting paid? Are they going to have a job? This is who it's so unfair on. And the sooner this can get sorted, the better. Matt Law today speaking, saying that obviously the deadline for the bids is Friday, and then he expects the new owner to be known in, say, a week to 10 days time. We should know who it is. But in terms of actually getting them in place and it all being sorted, we could be looking at another 4 to 6 weeks. So, yeah, there's still some short-term pain to come for Chelsea in terms of yeah, in terms of that and the sanctions, hopefully, some more can be eased in the coming days. I'm sure. I mean, Petr Cech spoke on Sky Sports. Obviously it's an evolving situation. It's daily things can change. So hopefully, some things will change over the course of next week and make it a little bit easier on the club. The club shouldn't be punished for kind of just being like guilty through association as such. It is ridiculous and it's so wrong and it it's very, very hypocritical as well. But I won't get into that too much. But yeah, also one last one. The reason why we're still playing with the three logo on the shirt and the Hyundai logo on the sleeve is because we haven't got any stock of blank shirts and we can't buy any because of the sanctions. So that's why we're still playing with those logos on there. Obviously, on all the graphics on the TV and stuff, they've been taken off. On the social media graphics, there's no players there anymore because it's got the 3 logo on the shirt, so they aren't able to do that. But that is why we're still playing with those logos on there. But yeah, that rounds out the player rating stream. And it wasn't pretty at all from Chelsea today. It wasn't pretty at all from Chelsea today. But at the end of the day, a moment of brilliance from that man, Kai Havertz, bails us out and gives us the 3 points and, keeps that good form going. And we roll on to Lille on Wednesday night, second leg of the Champions League. Hopefully we're going by plane. Hopefully we're not going by train, bus, or Tuchel taking a few 7-seaters. Hopefully we can go there by aeroplane. A 2-0 lead to defend, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue at all. But as I say, it's great to silence the rival fans, silence those sections of the media who seem to be on a crusade, a bit of a witch hunt for the club. Good to send them home. They can cry those tears. That's the best way to do it. Just keep on winning. Silence those haters. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in live. If you tuned in live, as I said at the top of the show, please smash a like on the video. Please do click that subscribe button. Help me towards the 400 subscribers mark. Not too far away. And each and every subscription is really, really appreciated. It takes you seconds. It doesn't cost you anything. And it really helps me out. So please do subscribe. Thanks for all your support as always. Really do appreciate it. And I will be back with a match preview for the Lille game on Tuesday. So until then, stay safe. Enjoy the start of your week. Up the Chelsea. Catch you on Tuesday, guys.